Welcome back to Edgemont Elegance, everyone. It's Eric with Sprucehill Homes here. Let's jump in and have a look and see what the team has been working on for the last week. Let's take a look. The first thing that I noticed and I wanted to talk about today, though, before we get too carried away, is these concrete pillars that are sticking out of the ground. So what's happening here is these things have been formed and poured so that the wood stays off the ground. And why do we do that? We do that so the bottom of this post doesn't start rotting. So this is up. This is going to be at least 4 inches above the finished grade once that's all done here. And then of course, one of the things we always talk about is how far below grade the bottom of the footing has to be. Again, in BC, well, not BC, in Vancouver, it's 18 inches. So as long as the bottom of this is 18 inches below the finished grade out here, we're golden, and that is what's been done. So that's what we've done. Let's jump inside and have a look and see what else has been going on inside. Well, it definitely looks like electricians have been here. You can see that there is ends of wires and sawdust across the floor. So that is a solid indicator that electricians have been around doing their electrician thing. If you work with a good electrician, they're going to give you what we would call a bit of a service loop. And so what this does, so they fold it up and down on itself. So what this allows us to do is move this box around if we need to, a little bit up or a little bit down. And it gives them a little bit of fudge factor as well. So, you know, if you have your electrician and it goes directly straight into the box, well, if you want to move this at all, your options are limited. The downside is obviously you're using an extra 6 to 12 inches of wire for each wire. And obviously that adds up, but it's kind of worth it if and when you need to change something. So in here, we've got our stacked laundry. And so some of you might be like, oh, how are you going to reach the shutoffs? Because they're behind the machine, you can never shut it off. Well, we put the shutoffs in the vanity behind it, genius. That's what we do. So you can shut it off back there. So these shutoffs become, I mean, they're useless unless you're actually moving the machine in or out. But if you ever need to shut them down for whatever reason, if it springs a leak, shutoffs will be underneath this vanity. But I like these clean boxes. This thing comes off and goes right back on again to make it look nice and clean after the drywallers have done their thing. You'll also notice on this project that the hot water pipes have been insulated. Don't know if I've talked about that before, but I think that's a good something to take note of, right? We want to insulate our water pipes so that we are not wasting energy cooling in the summer months. Obviously, during the winter, it's helping. During the summer though, it's doing the opposite of helping. And you know, for the viewer, the reason why it matters is we install recirculating water lines into all of our new homes. And the reason we do that is to reduce water wastage, right? So instead of having to wait for hot water to get from the boiler room in the basement to up here, all that it has to do is there's a recirculation loop. I suspect it's right underneath my foot here. And so it just has to pull off of that, right? Up in here, over there, boom, done. So instead of it having to go 30, 40, 50 feet, it has to go, I don't know, whatever that is, 10 feet to get hot water to the fixture, which saves a ton of water. You know, otherwise you're standing there waiting for 2 minutes, running the hot water, waiting for hot water when you go to wash your face or when you go to have a shower. Now it's like, I mean, it's not quite instant, but it's really close. Like it makes a huge difference. So, you know, things that I'm looking for always are, you know, are these lights lined up? If I'm being honest with you, they don't look like they're bang on right now. That doesn't mean that they aren't bang on right now, but my eye says that they're not. So we'll make sure that we have a laser set up down here and make sure that those suckers are nice and straight, equidistant off the walls on both sides, you know, it's kind of important. We are still waiting for our friends from Authentic Installations to come in here and finish installing these windows. But it looks like they are getting ready to, because they've got the peel and stick and everything else on the go, ready to go here. Looking good. Awesome. This is a temporary panel that we're having our electricians build for this site. And I do this on every site. I mean, I move them from site to site, but we've just got a few too many sites on the go right now, so we're having to build another one. One of the biggest things that we run into on these projects is when you have a bunch of trades, they all need plugs to run their extension cords to, for charging their batteries, because a lot of, like almost all the tools that you see trades use these days are cordless. So there's not, I mean, it used to be that everybody had to use a whole hog and it was a corded whole hog and there was extension cords running everywhere. And nowadays it's these massive high power batteries that are running everything. But nonetheless, we always want to make sure that the people on site have access to power and they're not fighting for plugs and unplugging each other's chargers so they can charge their stuff or whatever else. So when we come back next week, we're going to see that there's going to be at least 4, probably 8 to, no, there's going to be, how many plugs are we going to have?
I'm doing 3 sets of duplex plugs, so they'll have about 6 for now.
6?
Yeah.
So 6 times 2 though, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So 12 plugs to plug into, 6 double gang plugs sort of thing. So anyways, like that's going to give us a ton of bandwidth for the trades that are on site to do that. And also now we bring the power inside of the house, because when you're building new construction, you typically have a temporary pole or some sort of temporary service outside of the house. So what we're doing now is we're bringing the power from outside to inside, and that just saves everybody time, headache, and hassle. So pro tip. Well, that's a wrap on Edgemont Elegance this week. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our videos and comment on what we're doing. We'd love to answer your questions. Just let us know what they are in the comments below. In the meantime, if you're looking to build a custom home for yourself and you live somewhere in the Lower Mainland, reach out to Sprucehill. We are one of the best, if not the best in the biz. Give us a shout. We'd love to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.